From the ESPN studio, presented by Ortho Virginia. Find one of Ortho Virginia's orthopedic locations at orthovirginia.com. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 1061 ESPN. Richmond, it's time to get your morning going. Richmond Sports Talk by Richmond sports fans. This is Fitz The Bill with Jack Fitzpatrick. All live from the capital of the Commonwealth, where sharp analysis, your cause, and Richmond always come first. If it's making headlines locally or nationally, we're breaking it down. Now,
Towns to South Beach.
Live from the capital of the Commonwealth, Fitz The Bill with your host, Jack Fitzpatrick.
Good Friday morning, September 12th. Appreciate you clocking in, getting your day started with us right here on Fitz the Bill, live from the Ortho Virginia studios here in the capital of the Commonwealth on 1061 ESPN Richmond, the ESPN Richmond app, ESPNRichmond.com, and my, oh my, are there a lot of places that you can watch as well. Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. If you want to watch Fitz the Bill on this Friday morning, on this beautiful, what feels like fall morning, you can do so by just typing in ESPN Richmond in Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. We'll pop right on up and you can watch the stream live. You can be part of the show live, of course, by commenting, liking, and subscribing on all of those platforms, as well as tuning in the old-fashioned way on the ESPN Richmond app, ESPNRichmond.com, and good old-fashioned terrestrial radio 1061 FM. So the Commanders are nearly there. They're nearly at the big kids table. But after last night, it's kind of clear they are still the teenagers, that have outgrown the kids table, still waiting on that invite to make it to the adult table. So in the meantime, like last season, they take their opportunities when they get them, but they still are left without a permanent seat. Last night was an example of that as the Packers flexed on the Commanders. I mean, granted, the Packers also flexed on the Lions, and the Packers may just be a dang good football team, but it's been an impressive start to 2025 for Green Bay. Adding Micah to this defense has made the Packers just overall a notch above the rest of the league. It seems like early on, small sample size, but I'm here to overreact. Parsons last night led that pass rush. He didn't necessarily put up the gaudy numbers, but he was such a point of emphasis for Washington's offensive line that it allowed Rashawn Gary, Devontae Wyatt to notch sacks, Edgerrin Cooper, Carl Brook, Barron Sorrell, Parsons all picked up half sacks as well. And overall, that pass rush was too much for the Commanders all night. And they did a great job of bottling up Jaden Daniels, right? I mean, he had kind of an underwhelming game. And it showed not just in the fact that Jaden Daniels didn't rush for, or I guess scramble for a first down. He didn't even rush the ball all that well, but pushing the ball down the field was not there for Jaden. He had 4.8 yards per pass attempt last night, the lowest mark of his young career. And on the offensive side for Green Bay, Jordan Love was in his bag of tricks. He was slicing and dicing the Commanders' defense, specifically when the Commanders were in single high looks, when they had one safety patrolling the top of the defense and no one else was there with them. Jordan Love was taking advantage of that. Most of his big plays, most of his yards came when the Commanders were playing in one high looks. And he was doing it a lot without Jaden Reed, who went out in the first half, one of the more explosive, dynamic wide receivers, one of their 15 wide receiver twos that they have on that roster. He went out early in the first half due to a broken collarbone, and he was still wheeling and dealing, getting the ball to Romeo Doubs and everyone else. And that potent 1-2 punch, I think, is going to be a huge, huge advantage for Green Bay throughout this season. A good offense and what looks to be the makings of a great defense. The Packers are going to be a problem all the way through the playoffs. And for the Commanders, I think that was a little bit of a disappointing showing. The NFL world is watching on Thursday night, and the Commanders kind of laid an egg. The offense had no answers for Micah and the Green Bay defense. Daniels didn't scramble for a first down the first time in his career. He hasn't done so. Career low pass yards per attempt, and he was made uncomfortable the entire game Green Bay got pressure on him on 46% of his dropbacks. That's the highest mark Jaden Daniels has ever faced in his career. The defense, it was pretty good. For the most part, it was good enough. They allowed some big plays, but gave Washington some chances, especially in the middle eight. I mean, you've got to be kicking yourself if you're Matt Gay, right? I mean, you literally missed, you couldn't kick yourself back into the game like they were trying to do. He missed that kick before half. He missed that kick after half, and that may have swung the momentum of the game a little bit, but overall, the lack of consistency from the offense, those blown chances on special teams, made it where Washington could just never really close the gap. The Commanders still need to grow up a little bit to make it officially at the grown-ups table. That they showed flashes, but they're just still not fully there yet. And last night was an example of that. It was an example of that. All right, let's update you what you may have missed in the wide world of sports overnight.
This is your Fitz the Bill morning update. Getting you caught up on some of the biggest stories in sports.
So last night, while the NFL was going on, there was some college football too, as NC State picked up a 34-24 win over Wake Forest. CJ Bailey went 23 of 32 for NC State, 201 yards, 3 tutties. Hollywood Smothers ran the ball 24 times for a career high, 164 yards. In last night's Thursday night football game, 2 serious injuries were suffered. Commanders running back Austin Eckler is feared to have torn his Achilles. Eckler will undergo tests today to confirm if he tore his Achilles in the fourth quarter. On the Packers side, we mentioned it earlier, Jaden Reed left the game in the first half, did not return due to a broken collarbone. LaFleur said post-game he's going to miss a lot of time, went on to say, we'll see how fast he can recover and heal, and certainly I would expect him back at some point this season, but obviously it's a big blow to us. The Las Vegas Aces in the WNBA nailed 22 threes last night en route to their 16th straight win. It's the longest win streak to finish a regular season in WNBA history. In NBA news, there has been an update in the Kawhi Leonard case. Yesterday on the Pablo Torre Finds Out podcast, Torre reported that Dennis Wong, a Clippers limited partner, invested just under $2 million in Aspiration as they were struggling for money 9 days before the company made a $1.75 million payment to Kawhi Leonard. The payment was late, according to the payment schedule, as the company was having significant financial troubles at that time before ultimately declaring bankruptcy. In MLB last night, Aaron Judge hit 2 home runs, tying Joe DiMaggio for 4th on the Yankees' all-time home run list with 361. Giancarlo Stanton also knocked one over the wall. It's the 53rd time the two have hit a home run in the same game. That's the second most for a Yankee duo in the franchise's history. It ended up being a 9-3 win for the Bronx Bombers over the Tigers. Other MLB scores, Nats fell 5-0 to the Marlins. Mariners won on a walk-off 7-6 over the Angels in 12. Orioles won 3-2 over the Pirates. And the Phillies down the Mets again 6-4 thanks to an electric 9th inning for the Philadelphia Phillies. That's what you may have missed in the wide world of sports overnight. We'll dive into so much more throughout the show coming up in hour number 2. We've got Pat Jaggers from the Motor Racing Network. And then just as a little plug again, tonight we're out at the Powhatan Midlothian game. Our Talk of the Town game of the week takes us to Midlothian High School as they play host to Powhatan in what should be a very, very fun game here in the 804. But, Alan, I want to get your thoughts here. Am I too harsh in saying that the Commanders are not yet grown-ups? They're not yet at the grown-ups table. They're almost there. They've outgrown the kids table. They're no longer with the Giants. They're no longer with, the Falcons or some of the bottom feeders in the NFC, but they have yet to graduate to the big kids table yet.
Yeah, I mean, that's a game that you have to win in order to establish yourself as like a top 3 team. But also, all things considered, going into Lambeau and winning isn't easy for anybody, typically. Yeah. So that was their first test. They've failed, right? So it's a long season. We had a texter saying that they got exposed. I don't buy that they got exposed. I think the blueprint to stopping the Commanders or slowing them down was already shown to you by Vic Fangio last year. So I haven't seen anybody do anything different than what Vic Fangio did, which was essentially have a shell coverage with the ability to pressure Jaden Daniels and contain Jaden Daniels with just his front four, right? That's the Eagles have that ability. What you saw last night wasn't anything exotic. Actually, it was completely different from what Halfley usually does, in my opinion. You usually see a way more aggressive looking defense. It was very modest by design, but very effective because of number one.
Yeah,
I mean,
he changes the calculus of everything.
The minute they moved him over to Connerly, it was over.
It was everything. I was just watching the game, and every snap I would just lay eyes on number one, and he wasn't getting to the quarterback each and every time, but he was moving the pocket. He was making Jaden feel uncomfortable, and it was just the Commanders, they've got a little bit of distance now. Like they've got some distance to make up. I think the Packers are the cream of the crop in the NFC. I think they are better than Philadelphia. Philly can prove me wrong if they're able to blow out the Chiefs again, but that line is pretty close in terms of sports betting. The Chiefs actually opened as favorites according to Vegas, and now the betting and the money has come in, making the Eagles favorite in that game. But the Eagles got a big test this weekend. For the Packers, they have aced every test they have done. And last night, they made what is a good Washington offense look pedestrian. There were people on Twitter last night. Is this the worst half of Dan Quinn? Is this the worst half of the new Jaden Daniels era? Is this the worst game we've ever seen from Jaden Daniels and the Washington offense? It may have been, but man, some people are spiraling out there right now this morning.
It was close. It was a poorly called game.
Cliff was
from the beginning.
Cliff was struggling.
If I know Micah Parsons is absolutely obliterating my right tackle, you can't hide him. We know that. I wouldn't chip him with McNichols. They tried that. I wouldn't chip him with anybody. Honestly, I would either slide my protection or figure something out to where his impact is at least slowed down a little. But aside from that, if Micah Parsons is on the freaking sideline, I'm passing the ball. That's where the majority of their pressure was coming from. There was times in the first half where he was literally on the sideline taking a break, and the Commanders are running the ball. And then when he comes in, he substitutes in, then they want to drop back in an empty set and pass. What?
Yeah,
that makes no sense.
KYP, know your personnel.
Yeah.
Right? Know your opponent's personnel.
I see him coming on the field.
We're running it. We're running it right at him. And I love Amazon Prime. I love Thursday night games because it feeds something in my soul. You get the all 22 angle for the entirety of the game. It is so fun to watch. You get great insights, next gen stats, all of that fun stuff. So I'm watching the game, and I texted you this. You're seeing it from Jaden Daniels' point of view. You're seeing how the wide receivers are running their routes, and you're just like, no one. They're playing man.
Yeah,
and no one's getting separation. And Zach Ertz is the only guy available. And Jaden just did not have enough time to work through his progression. Zach was probably the third option on a lot of routes, fourth option. There just wasn't enough time for him to check to the first, check to the second, then work his way down to Zach Ertz. And when he did, he typically completed it, and they got like a 6-7 yard gain. They were able to move the ball. But Washington's receivers really worried me. Like, it worries me that Terry hasn't had a great start to the season. I'm worried.
He was slow last year, though, getting started.
I know, but now he's slow. Plus, he didn't have all the preseason. He didn't have all the training camp. I'm worried about that. I buy into the fact that if you did not play in the preseason, if you did not work out in training camp, you're going to be even slower to start the season. That worries me. It worries me that Debo wasn't a huge part of the offense. They couldn't get the ball to him. And it worries me that Zach Ertz is their most consistent passing option through the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, so the Terry thing, I'll be honest with you, you're going to have to give him at least 4 games before you get comfortable.
I understand that. What I'm saying is I'm worried that the training camp, missing training camp, is going to make it 8 games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, especially with his years of service in the NFL, if he can't get it together by the 4th game, then I would join you in concern, because most people
I'll be waiting.
Most people, when they're veterans, by the 4th game, it's like, all right, we're in football mode if we haven't done anything in the preseason. The Bengals used to go through that often with Burrow and Chase when they didn't play in the preseason. Like week 4 or 5.
I mean, they had a week 1 this season too.
Yeah, week 1. Yeah, they were in some lulls there too. I just the Austin Eckler usage is frustrating.
You don't have to worry about that anymore.
Obviously, because he got injured. But like, you had to see that coming too, because again, he's got a lot of wear and tear on him. But he can't be your feature back. You got a guy that's actually good. You got a guy that's actually decent. And in the limited sample size, you shouldn't have 2-to-1 Eckler carries and Krosky Mary carries. Krosky Mary's the only guy at least moving the ball a little bit last night. It was just that was frustrating. You never tried to establish the run.
Yeah,
that's which is also frustrating.
That's where I'm worried. You only had 19 rush attempts. 7 of those were from Jaden Daniels. You only called 12 rushes with your running backs. 8 with Eckler, 4 with Bill Krosky Merritt.
Jordan Love was lighting them up, and they still were trying to establish the run. They would not get away from it because they had a solid game plan. And then the most egregious thing is whatever that was at the end of the first half. That's the second time it's going to happen. The clock management stuff has to be tightened up because that's a bigger issue, right? You put yourself behind in games where you're not the talent gap sometimes is closed by good coaching and strategy.
Yeah.
And what I've seen in the last 2 games by the Commanders coaching staff and mismanaging the halves is just kind of a red flag to me, because we didn't see a lot of that last year. And it's like, is that leaking into your general game plan? Because again, I didn't like anything I saw in the first 3 and the third quarters.
Yeah. No, nothing was good.
Like, it's a short week. What happened?
Not only that, like, I didn't love the clock management of it, but then Matt Gay missing the 2 kicks. I mean, you had a point where it was 14-3, right? You could have kicked a field goal, 14-6, gone into halftime. You got the ball back again. I'm thinking everything remains the same. I'm not playing the what if, or if they get this, then maybe they can score. No, everything remains the same. You would have kicked a field goal, gone into half, gotten the ball back. Debo had a fantastic return.
And covered my 3.5.
and then they would have, you would have then, to start the second half, kicked another field goal. But he goes 0 for 2 on those field goals. Instead of being 14-3, it could have been 14-9. And now you're like, Jack, how much of that does it really change? That could change a lot. Like, that could change a good amount. And then going into the fourth quarter, it could have been a completely different game. But instead, you miss those 2 kicks, and all of a sudden, it's still a 2-possession game. It's still you having to work against the clock, work against the Packers, going into obvious passing situations, allows Micah to tee off on you. Matt Gay missing those 2 kicks. I know Washington fans, or I guess when Lake came on, he was talking about on Tuesday about how Matt Gay is probably going to be the guy, and all of this stuff. He had a bad preseason. He had a bad training camp. He had a bad week too. Man, Washington, you got to cut him. Like, you've got to move on. There are so many good kickers out there. You've got to move on from Matt Gay.
Where are they? Send them to San Francisco too.
Yeah, there's enough to go around. You got Eddie Pinheiro. You're fine. But like, there was a lot of issues in this game. Jaden Daniels was one of them. The offensive line was one of them. The inability to consistently put plays together and move the chains, that's one of them. Matt Gay was one of them. There was a shocking stat in the game that was said on the Next Gen broadcast. The Commanders, since Jaden Daniels has been the starting quarterback, has one of the worst success rates in the NFL, which means a success rate is defined as how effective is your team at keeping the ball ahead of the sticks. So on 1st and 10, do you get 50% of the yards needed? On 2nd and 10, do you get 50% of the yards needed for a first down? On 3rd and 4th down, do you get 100% of the yards needed? And so on 1st and 10, do you make it 1st and 5? On 2nd and 5, do you make it 2nd and 2? And on 3rd and 2, do you make it 1st and 10? If you're able to do that in 3 plays, you were successful on 3 plays. And so, then it's 100% success rate. Now, any type of breakdown of that. So what a lot of the Commanders were doing last year were fail plays on 1st and 2nd down, and then having successful 3rd and 4th down plays. And that's what kept them alive. They were very good in late down situations. To start this season, specifically last night against a Green Bay Packers team, they weren't good in those, and it's just some of their issues from last season are starting to rear their head a little bit, and I am a little worried on the Washington Commanders. Although Green Bay, they are a Super Bowl team. Like, that is a bona fide Super Bowl team. What they've done to the Lions and what they've done to Commanders to start this season, it's very impressive. All right, let's go out to the phone lines. 804-327-0888. Chris is on line one. Good morning, Chris. How we doing?
Morning, Jack. How you doing?
Great.
Hey, I know this is not going to be a popular take, but I got to say it. Watching that game last night, I agree with you. Matt Gay's got to go, but I'm not a Washington fan. But they just, the offense looked just terrible, and I know part of the reason that a lot of their fan base right now was Heenan Hall is because they just ran it back from last year on offense, really. I mean, they added Deebo Samuel. That was about it. They didn't add anything in the backfield. You got Green Bay and Philly, making significant roster moves. And
Chris, I just have to stop you right there. Laramie Tunsil's a top 5 tackle. You got to give him some love, too. As it wasn't just Deebo.
Nothing against him, but their backfield is atrocious. I mean, how old is Austin Eckler now? And he's still, what they're leaning on to be their key running back. And, I gotta say this. I know that, the whole NFC East last year had a pretty favorable schedule. So Washington's regular season to get to the playoffs wasn't all that hard. And I think we're seeing now with the schedule this year is their offense is kind of being exposed.
I think so. Like, they've got to figure something out. Like, that's the biggest thing. They've got to figure out how to just consistently be solid. Laramie Tunsil was a good add. Laramie Tunsil also is a very heavily penalized left tackle. But that was a good addition. Deebo was a good addition, but they've got to figure out how to use him. Like, that's the biggest key. They look good in the Giants game, the trenches specifically. They held up well against Thibodeau, Abdul Carter, Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, held up well in that one. But last night, Jeff Hafley is a very good defensive coordinator, and he's schemed a lot to go right for the defensive line, and the offense has to figure out a way to adjust.
Yeah, I mean, there's no knock. I mean, like Alan said, going into Green Bay and winning is not easy. And Green Bay is a top playoff team in the NFC. But the other thing is the NFC outside of Philly and Green Bay doesn't look like they're as deep at all as compared to the AFC. So, if that was Washington's test last night, then they've just been showed they're a year or two behind.
They've got a couple more tests with the Eagles this season, so like they'll have time. It is a bummer on Thursday night that it kind of fell the way it did in that game.
Yeah, like I said, I just think they've been exposed. And I know people will disagree with that, but I still think Dallas is ahead of them. Dallas looked better against Philly in week 1 than Washington has all season. That 21 they put on the Giants was a quiet 21. Yeah,
you're right, but I wouldn't go that far to say Dallas is looking like the better team. That defense is going to get shredded at times. Teams now know what they're going to look like without Micah Parsons. I'm not so far to say Dallas is the better team than Commanders. I still think the Commanders got a lot more to prove. They've got a lot to work on, but I still like them to win the NFC East. I'll say that much.
Well, last question for you. Do you think that Washington has a better offense
than Dallas?
Yeah.
On paper, they've got the better quarterback, but I would say Dallas has the better wide receivers. Offensive line may sway command. Look, I'll say Dallas got a slightly better offense, but I think as a team, as a whole, Washington blows them out of the water. They've got the coaching advantage, the QB advantage, the defense advantage. I think they blow them out of the water as a full team.
Interesting. We'll have to circle that one on the calendar.
We'll come back to that one. Appreciate you calling in, Chris. Have a great rest of your Friday. There goes Chris. I mean, Dallas's offense, you got George Pickens, Dak Prescott. Running back room kind of similar to Washington, right? Quarterback, I like Jaden over Dak, although I really like Dak. Everyone knows that. I have him in my top 10. Makes a lot of people mad. Dallas, I'll give them this very slight edge offensively, but overall as a team, coaching is just so much better. QB play, younger and better. Defense, much better. Washington is a better team than Dallas.
Yeah, I'm going to zing Dallas just because of that. And if Dallas had kept Micah, then maybe Dallas would have the edge, because that was the edge for the Packers yesterday.
That was the edge for the Packers yesterday.
But
Brian Schottenheimer takes away a lot of points for him.
Yeah, I mean, it has nothing to do with Dallas, at least not right now. Dallas isn't the Packers. And going down to Arlington or wherever they play at isn't going to be Lambeau on a Thursday night. There's going to be two ends. There's going to be a lot of overreaction. There's going to be a lot of excuses as well. At the end of the day, the Commanders as a team, as a staff, just did not perform well enough to beat an elite team. And I think the Packers, if they're not elite, they're on the doorstep of elite. And this was an amazing win for them, a great win for them. But this was a step back for the Commanders. And, before the game, we said that yesterday on Raising Hell. Like, the nation's watching.
Yep.
Depending on the result, you're going to have people that are going to be high and bullish on one end and kind of bearish on the other end. And that's what we have. Folks are putting the Packers. I think they're actually the odds favorite to get into the Super Bowl.
That makes sense
for the NFC now.
I'm glad I locked my bet in before Micah was traded.
Yeah, right.
So, I'm feeling pretty good over here.
So it's okay that they got stuff they got to work on. They're not perfect. We knew that going in. It is all built around Jaden on offense. And the defense is at the mercy of how athletic the other team is. So they just gotta play better. That's just what it boils down to.
And I think the defense had a pretty good game. Like I
all
think
things considered,
for the most part, like they were put into a lot of tough situations. The Washington Commanders offense was doing them no favors, and the defense, especially in the middle part of that game to end the first half, to start the second half, put Washington in a spot. I mean, they held Green Bay to 3 points in the third quarter. Washington's offense just couldn't do anything with that. They missed a couple of field goals. Like, that game swung in the middle portion. The defense kept them in, but the offense's inability to move the football consistently is what did them in. All right, let's get a break in here. We'll step aside, be back, preview some of the games this weekend in the National Football League. And it's Hot Take Friday. Drop your hot takes on our text line, 804-327-0888. The hotter the take, the better. Text line is open to drop those hot takes on this Friday.
Traffic reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Lennox dealer. Online at HermanAllenPlumbing.com.
Catch up on the latest horse racing news with Off to the Races live broadcast, 10 to 11 every Saturday morning on 106.1 ESPN. Presented by The Racing Biz.
Looking for a neighborhood service station that can provide premium fuel for your car, auto repairs, and friendly advice? Stop by the family-owned Bon Air Show, 8762 West Huguenot Road.
Soccer in RVA is winding down with just a few games left this season. Make your plans now to catch the next Richmond Kickers home game, Wednesday, September 17th versus Portland Hearts of Pipe. Tune in to hear ESPN Richmond live as we count down to this nationally televised game on RVA Community Night at City Stadium. Then it's on to a Saturday night showdown September 20th versus Charlotte Independence. Reserve your tickets today at richmondkickers.com. And don't forget, at Kickers games, dogs are always welcome.
See website for details. Bills happen is not a lender. It does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, everything is so expensive, and our bills are piling up.
You're telling me credit cards are maxed out, rent is due, and the car payment's right around the corner? We need some extra cash.
We should do what my friend from work did. She went to billshappen.com and got the money she needed the next day.
Our credit is not great. Are you sure that would work for us?
Bills Happen is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
Sounds like it's going to be a hassle.
My friend said it was super easy. She did it right from her phone during her lunch break.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. BillsHappen.com's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Guess what? I went to billshappen.com, and we're getting our money tomorrow.
Wow, that's fast. Problem solved.
If you need extra cash, go to billshappen.com. That's billshappen.com. Billshappen.com.
Hey, this is Jack Fitzpatrick. If you've ever been in a car accident, there's one place to call, Schilling and Esposito. I know them personally. I know their work ethic. They focus on their clients and their big dog obsession with getting the most compensation for their client. Heck, they even give you their cell phone numbers. Call them today at 804-320-0950 and put their entire team to work for you. 804-320-0950. Schilling and Esposito.
The post-crib assembly press conference, brought to you by Progressive.
Michael, you had some trouble putting the crib together today. What went wrong?
You know, those instructions can be tough, and, well, you saw the outcome.
Were you upset when your wife pulled you and called in the backup?
No, I mean, the baby needs a crib to sleep in, so whatever it takes.
You got a changing table to put together next. It's got a lot of drawers. What's your comment?
You know what? We're done here.
Like it or not, sometimes you need a backup. That's why there's Progressive to protect your home and auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
The John Deere Gator XUV lets you cut, hack, drive, scout, weld, stack, feed, pull, load, tow, spray, and haul, all in a single day. Because with the highest cargo box volume in its class, customizable features, and a towing capacity of up to 4,000 pounds, it gets the job done. You just have to get in the seat. Learn more at your John Deere dealer or visit johndeere.com/Gator XUV. 1061 ESPN traffic.
We're seeing some delays heading east on 64 between Staples Mill Road and Bryant Park Interchange, as well as heading westbound between Mechanicsville Turnpike and 95. Expect heavy traffic on Ashland Road, both north and southbound between Lanier and 64, and to back up heading south on 95 between Bryant Park Interchange and the Lombardi Street overpass.
It's off to Chapel Bill this Saturday. Hi, this is Bob Black. Join Chris Anderson, Matt Smith, and me as Richmond football gets its shot at Coach Bill Belichick and the North Carolina Tar Heels. Pre-game Saturday at 3, kickoff at 3:30 on the home of the Spiders, 1061 ESPN.
Welcome back in. Fitz the Bill on this Friday, September 12th morning. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick. Alan alongside. We got a text. Jerry should have never traded this guy, especially to Green Bay. He's basically giving them a Super Bowl. That's my take. Jerry is the problem. Yes, Jerry is the problem.
Well, that's not a hot take.
That's not a hot take. I mean, that's a cold take, man. We want hotter than that. We want to. Micah is the problem. That'd be a hot take.
I got a hot take for you.
You gave him Reggie White.
Jerry knows he can't win a Super Bowl with the Cowboys, so he's going to win one with the Packers. That's why he traded Micah Parsons.
So
there you go.
He has actually a backroom deal right now
with
Micah that if they win the Super Bowl this year, Micah will send down the Super Bowl back to Jerry so he can feel the jewels one more time.
First owner to win a Super Bowl with two franchises.
Man, Jerry Jones is the biggest joke. Like, I try not to be too rude, but watching that documentary on Netflix, it's literally just a puff piece. And all the while, like it makes him look so good. And then while that's coming out, you trade Micah. And it blows back. And then Micah has a back injury. How much is he going to play? He's on a dang snap count, and he's still wrecking games.
He's elite. That's
what
elite
better.
That's what elite looks like.
He looks better in Green Bay than he did in last season in Dallas.
Yeah, well, his supporting cast is better too. Like those guys are. They're playing in tandem, right? If Mike is moving the pile, they're doing everything they can to finish the play.
Yeah, I guess last year on Dallas, it was Micah and then me.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mozzie Smith, other words.
Mozzie was terrible.
Mozzie was a healthy scratch week one.
He's a terrible draft pick.
Was he a first rounder? Early second?
I think he was a first rounder. I had to go back and check. I just remember when they picked him up, I was like, he's big. Yes, he's strong, but that's where it ends.
I was also really impressed with Jordan Love. Like 19 of 31, not the most eye-popping stats, 292 yards. I liked what he did, though. He was very clinical when the defense gave him the opportunities. He hit Malik Heath on that one catch that, again, the StatCast, man, the next-gen stat, that had a 7.8% catch probability, which is the third lowest catch probability to result in a catch since 2018. That's insane, both from Love and Heath.
I give Love credit. I give LaFleur credit. I don't think the Commanders made it hard on him.
No,
either.
But I'm like Jordan Love last season would have made that game hard.
Yeah, no, the execution was there, right? You that's growth. You know, he's more efficient, and he was precise. Like he shredded them the first half. Honestly, like they didn't have any. Even the first drive, if it wasn't for Amos just making a really good play, the ball was a little underthrown, but it was catchable if Amos didn't stick his arm out there.
Yeah.
I didn't have a problem with that. He didn't make any bad reads.
He looks solid.
He hasn't thrown an interception in quite some time too, which is also a testament to his efficiency. Because that was kind of my concern with him when he was coming out of Utah State, is that he would he would roll out, and that one play where he just slung it down the field, that was constant at Utah State, but it was in double, triple coverage.
Yeah.
At least he's doing it with like one-on-one now.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's look around the NFL because there's a couple of good games. One of the ones that I'm very intrigued on is the Dolphins-Patriots game. You know why?
I'm sorry, you said good games, and then you said Dolphins-Patriots.
I said intriguing. You know why?
Why?
Because it's week 2, man. It's week 2. And you know what the Dolphins did yesterday?
No.
They called a players-only meeting.
Oh.
Andrew Whitworth and Ryan Fitzpatrick. I've got this clip.
I was so confused.
Andrew Whitworth and Ryan Fitzpatrick on their podcast had this to say about a players-only meeting happening in week 2.
There is no more guarantee that your season's cooked than the players only meeting. I mean, you're cooked.
Oh,
it's happening. It's over.
When I was approached, they come up, hey, I think we should have a players only meeting. I don't. What do you want to say? Say it to me right now. I'll say it to everybody else. Why are we having a players only meeting? And then I think the point of the players only meeting is so people can leak out who talked and what they said during the meeting. I think that's the only point of it. I haven't really been a part of many of them that led to anything other than more finger pointing and people getting fired at the end of the year.
People getting fired at the end of the year. I think we know what's coming. But so coming off of a players only meeting, we'll see how the Dolphins perform because it can't get much worse after week 1 where the Colts, Daniel Jones absolutely dog walked them, man.
Now it can get worse.
It can't get worse because you got Drake May dog walking. Drake May didn't look good in week 1 either. The Patriots didn't look good in week 1 either. And you're in Miami. We'll see how things go, man. But players only meetings, I just love that. Your season's cooked, man. Cooked.
It was the accent that got me.
And the Andrew, just like the slight Southern
Your
twang.
Season's cooked.
Your season's cooked.
It
man.
is though. He's right. Week 2, and we're doing players only. Just fire
quit.
me now.
Just quit.
No, I'm not going to quit. It's too much money to quit. But fire me.
So I can
fire
get
me now.
Actual good games that actually will be riveting to watch. One of them is the Eagles-Chiefs, of course. The Chiefs, though, this season, the Chiefs they came out. Vegas had them favored. The money came in, and now the Philadelphia Eagles are the slight favorites over Kansas City. And this is after Kansas City, got absolutely destroyed in the Super Bowl. This is after Kansas City had a somewhat disappointing week 1 loss down there in Brazil against the Chargers. And now you've got yourself a game, man. You've got yourself a 425 kick, all eyes on you in Arrowhead Stadium. How are you going to perform? How are you going to perform when this is your skill group? You ready for this, Alan?
Yeah.
Juju Smith-Schuster, Hollywood Brown, and no one else. Isaiah Pacheco, Kareem Hunt, those don't inspire joy. Travis Kelce doesn't really inspire joy in me anymore. This is the worst. And, whenever you say, it can't get worse than this. Oh, brother, it can get worse. Oh, brother, it can get worse than that. We said that last year. There's no way the wide receiver room gets worse. Well, it feels like it may have, at least to start the season. Xavier Worthy's going to be out for a little bit after Travis Kelce took him out because Taylor Swift said Xavier Worthy was her favorite player. He's gone, so now you're left with Juju Smith-Schuster and Hollywood Brown as your 2 go-to wide receivers. Now, if you're into fantasy, Hollywood Brown's a great pickup on the waiver wire. But the skill group, man, Patrick Mahomes has got to make lemonade out of oranges. He's got to make lemonade out of grapefruits. Like, that's what he's dealing with right now.
I mean, the expectation is that he can do that. I think
now they're really testing it, though.
I think it's more about his protection, right? Like if Patty can stay upright, and that's the majority of quarterbacks in the NFL, they've got the blocking, then they can make magic happen, especially when you're as talented as Mahomes. I don't know if they closed the gap on that.
I don't think they have.
and I don't think the Eagles only change when Jalen Carter's not playing. That was obvious. When Carter wasn't in the game against the Cowboys, they got pushed around a little. He will be back with a vengeance in this game. So I would expect the Eagles to win, honestly.
I'm so intrigued, though, on the fact that the line did open as Chiefs favored.
Yeah, they have to do that.
I don't think they have to do that, man. The Eagles won the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah, but it's still the Chiefs' regular season game.
I don't know, man. Something smells a little fishy.
Well, Arrowhead is also a venue.
3 points. You got 3 points for Arrowhead.
But it's similar to Lambeau. Like, they don't often lose there regardless.
No, but the Eagles, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just interesting. I'm just saying, keep an eye out on the Chiefs, man. I know what I just said. They have a horrible, horrible skill group. But if I see a fishy line, I take the fishy line.
Well, they haven't been great against the number. They also don't go in the
They're
games
not typically
as dogs.
home underdogs.
Yeah.
I don't even know the last time they were a home underdog.
I mean, they're gonna lose some games, right? Like they're gonna lose some games this season. I would only be concerned about the Chiefs if they're not healthy at the turn of Christmas, right? Or after that game against the Cowboys on the 27th. If we go into December with injuries, I'd be concerned. But as long as they go in healthy, even if they go in as a wild card, I'm always going to be concerned and consider them a threat as long as they've got their core.
They will go in as a wild card because the Chargers are winning the AFC West.
That might be a thing.
Yeah,
might be a thing.
We're looking good, folks. Bears at Lions is another really fun game, mainly for the subplot behind it all with Ben Johnson going back to Detroit, where he was the offensive coordinator for 3 years. He was a coach on the staff for like 4 or 5 years. Dan Campbell said about Ben Johnson's bag of tricks. He said, you'll practice 1 or 2 things. You do it for every opponent, but I don't really care about trick plays. Yeah, I mean, Ben Johnson, though, is going to come out with a lot of trick plays. Ben Johnson's going to be doing a lot to try and take down his former team.
I got a trick play. Have Caleb Williams complete a pass.
I got a trick play. How about, anything works. A trick play is a positive play for the Chicago Bears. But the Lions, after that first week, they've got some stuff to figure out offensively themselves. Maybe a couple of trick plays is needed because Jared Goff did not look like Jared Goff under Ben Johnson. Jared Goff looked a little out of sorts. Granted, now that we've seen the Packers against the Commanders, maybe that wasn't a Lions issue. Maybe that's just a Packers are really freaking good issue.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. I watched some of the game because I was in the press box. The only thing missing from that Lions team outside of them dominating in the trenches, that was surprising. But it was the yards after the catch and the explosive plays. Like the Packers made sure that if they had
everything stayed in front of them.
They had an 8-yard pass, it was probably an 8-yard gain or maybe a 9-yard gain, right? There was nobody running free. Wasn't a lot of space to operate with. Goff statistically wasn't all that terrible. I think he was high completion rating, but like his yards per attempt and things like that were like significantly lower.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like Ben Johnson was able to scheme guys into space where you could get on maybe a 4-yard pass and then it would go for 25 yards.
Yeah.
That's what Ben Johnson was so good at. I don't know if Kevin Patullo is the new offensive coordinator with Philly. John Morton.
Yeah.
I don't know if Morton is able to do what Ben Johnson was able to do. So Lions have a lot to test with their offense. The Bears have a lot to test with their entire team.
With their organization.
They got their organization because a stat you're going to hear a lot this week is teams that start 0-2 have an X% chance to make the playoffs. So it's imperative you start 1-1. That's a little bit of like a false stat, but you're going to hear it a lot. And both of these teams trying to avoid going down 0-2 to start the season. All right, let's get a break in here. We'll step aside and be back with a little news on this Friday morning.
Cooler fall temperatures are coming, and that means perfect weather for a round of golf at Queenfield Golf Club. Queenfield is a beautifully secluded 18-hole course just a few minutes east of Mechanicsville that offers a spacious driving range, practice greens and bunkers, and professionally maintained golf course. Take the afternoon off or schedule your tee time today by calling 804-769-8838 or reserve your spot online at queenfieldgolf.com. Queenfield Golf Club, RVA's best-kept secret.
Are you suffering from a sports injury, chronic pain, or something that just plain hurts? Ortho Virginia can help get you on the road to recovery. As the state's largest provider of orthopedic care, Ortho Virginia's team of specialists offers surgical and non-surgical treatment options. With 12 offices conveniently located in the Richmond area, Virginia.com or call 804-915-1910 to discover why at Ortho Virginia, stronger starts here.
Constipation with belly pain that keeps coming back and back and back. If your symptoms keep coming back, talk to your doctor. It could be irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C. Linzess could help you get ahead of it. Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Richmond Kickers soccer games in the fall is a RVA tradition. Just a few games left at City Stadium this season. Reserve your tickets online at richmondkickers.com.
See website for details. Bills Happen is not a lender. It does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, everything is so expensive, and our bills are piling up.
You're telling me credit cards are maxed out, rent is due, and the car payment's right around the corner? We need some extra cash.
We should do what my friend from work did. She went to billshappen.com and got the money she needed the next day.
Our credit is not great. Are you sure that would work for us?
Bills Happen is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
Sounds like it's going to be a hassle.
My friend said it was super easy. She did it right from her phone during her lunch break.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. BillsHappen.com's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Guess what? I went to billshappen.com, and we're getting our money tomorrow.
Wow, that's fast. Problem solved.
If you need extra cash, go to billshappen.com. That's billshappen.com. Billshappen.com.
Weather reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Lennox dealer. Online at hermanallenplumbing.com.
106.1 ESPN weather.
It's currently 61 degrees, but feels like 67. Mostly sunny skies expected to continue throughout the rest of the morning and into the afternoon. We're looking at a high today of 81 with a low of 59. And taking a look at this weekend, more clear and sunny skies with a high tomorrow of 80 degrees and a high on Sunday of 83.
Whether it's the football field, the basketball court, or the diamond, and everything in between, we'll be talking JMU Athletics on Talkin' Dukes Wednesdays, 6 o'clock here on 106.1 ESPN.
News or snooze?
News or snooze? Judging by the list, looks like Bruce made this. Pablo Torre dropped second bombshell report linking Kawhi's late payment from aspiration to Clippers partner.
This is newsworthy. This is maybe outside of NFL. This is the most newsworthy thing happening in sports right now.
Did you catch my confusion? It's not newsworthy. You know why it's not newsworthy? I have a hot take. This is Hot Take Friday.
Okay, hit me with it.
Nobody cares about the NBA anymore, and it's the NBA's fault.
Yes, I mean, did you hear Adam Silver yesterday? So again, we're a highlight league. I don't care how much it costs. That's true. I mean, Adam Silver went from being the golden boy of commissioners. He has quickly fallen down the ranks to be a bad commissioner.
If this was like LeBron or somebody with an actual name, Kawhi's not a name catcher. I'm sorry,
man.
It's shady business. It should be front page because of the shadiness, but because it's the middle of the football season. Yeah,
it's coming out at the right time for the Clippers to avoid a lot of the backlash. But man, I disagree. I think this is extremely newsworthy. I think this is something we've got to follow because there now with this direct link. So let me just kind of break it down. I had to write this out to make sure it makes sense because
connect the dots.
There's a lot happening. So this latest breaking news says that a limited partner with the LA Clippers named Dennis Wong sent just under $2 million to Aspiration while they were going through extreme financial difficulties, ultimately resulting in them being bankrupt. They had signed Kawhi Leonard to essentially a no-show endorsement deal where they would just give him money and then he didn't have to do anything for that money. So Dennis Wong sent the $2 million to Aspiration. Then less than 10 years, Aspiration paid $175 million to Leonard after he had been reporting that it was a late payment. So this happens after Aspiration had signed Leonard to a total $28 million endorsement deal in 2021, an endorsement deal that has now come under a lot of scrutiny. Aspiration, they signed Leonard to that no-show endorsement deal worth $28 million. Aspiration was invested in by LA Clippers owner Steve Ballmer. He invested $50 million. And, oh, by the way, Aspiration and the Clippers in 2021, if that year rings a bell, it's because when they signed Kawhi to an endorsement deal in 2021, the Clippers and Aspiration announced a $300 million partnership that has now fallen through because the company filed bankruptcy. The company's currently being sued for fraud and misleading investors. And then yesterday, Pablo Torre reported on the Pablo Torre Finds Out podcast that Dennis Wong, the Clippers' limited partner, invested $1.99 million in Aspiration. 9 days later, the company made a $1.75 million payment to Kawhi Leonard. The payment to Leonard was late, according to the payment schedule, as the company was having financial troubles before ultimately declaring bankruptcy. We didn't have a full-on smoking gun, but we have a full-on smoking gun now.
Yeah, we do. And what is the NBA going to do about it? Nothing.
If they don't do anything about it, that is another story. Like, that is horrible. This is cap circumvention. This goes against everything in the CBA. This is something that, if it is true, which this is a smoking gun, if this is true, you've got to take away draft picks from the Kawhi Leonards, from the LA Clippers, like 5 years worth of first round draft picks. You've got to make sure that if this was purposeful cap circumvention, you've got to make sure that they are hurting from it. But okay, next one, we can move on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying that I just think it's a bunch of nothing. Micah Parsons, confident Packers defense will lead to wins.
Newsworthy. This is what Micah said after the game yesterday.
I like to just take things in and just enjoy what's around. It was like really beautiful to see. Like, that was a unique atmosphere that, I don't see too many times. So I just wanted to take it in, program it into my mind, and just remember how blessed I am and how amazing it is I was about to play football.
In what ways do you feel the defense took another step and built upon 4 days?
Just because we came out and did it again. Play consistent. We gave up some things that we didn't want to, more points than we wanted to. But, we made them earn everything. And that's just important. No big plays. We made them earn everything. And that's the good part.
He also said that if the defense holds teams to under 20 points, they'll win every game.
Oh, well, novel idea. It's crazy.
Don't let the other team score. We win. Thank you, Micah.
His words. The atmosphere thing he said, like,
he was talking about Lambeau there to start.
Yeah, but why was this any different than your opener against the Lions, which was a rival in a divisional game at that? And haven't you played in some good atmospheres in Texas? I'm sorry.
He's just taking shots. He's taking shots at Jerry.
Where's his podcast? I was thinking about that too. I haven't heard a podcast.
He canceled it. Good.
That's crazy.
I hope he canceled it.
Now I know it was all personal with Jerry.
Look, I'll just say this. If a player's got a podcast, run.
I mean, I don't want him podcasting either. I just think it's funny that it was cool when he was in Dallas as far as it was allowed, but in Green Bay, he's like not doing it.
He said, I'm focused on the craft up here. I'm focused on the craft. Micah Parsons said, no more podcasts for me. You know when CJ Stroud had his worst year? Granted, it's only been 2 years, so there's one good one, one bad one. But he had his bad year after he started a podcast. Coincidence?
I don't know. I liked them together though. They were funny.
There's a direct correlation. The more podcast hours you put in, the worst player you become.
Well, we'll see if that bodes for was it Amon Ra? Because he's
Amon Ra.
Yeah.
Him and his brother have a podcast.
Yeah.
Amon Ra and Equanimous.
Yes. So we'll see. All right. Number 3, which is absolutely ridiculous. Grant Delpit said it is not hard to tackle Derrick Henry.
Newsworthy.
Sure, pal.
Grant Delpit, safety for the Browns. What are you doing, man? This is coming off the heels. He said last week it's going to be a tough day for the offensive line of the Bengals.
Which is true, actually.
It was true.
And,
but
and
like,
you can say that if you're the safety because you got Myles Garrett. Yeah.
But like, all right, we're week 2 into the season. We've already had 2 bulletin board quotes.
But what you won't say is that it's not hard to tackle Derrick Henry and have me, a corner, have to, like, if I'm Denzel Ward, I'm fighting him. Like, are you crazy? I've got to tackle him too, you know?
Derrick Henry was asked about that yesterday, and his quote was, Derrick Henry said, quote, he had a quote, we'll see on Sunday. Uh-oh, Grant.
Nobody wants to be open field with this man 15 yards hit of steam.
Yeah,
man.
Grant, we got to figure this one out. That was a mistake for you to say.
No,
I'll be
learn
honest.
the hard way. When he gets past the line of scrimmage, everybody step out the way. It's a modernized Oklahoma drill. We're all gonna let Grant take this.
Yeah, Grant, this is yours. Grant, you and him in the hole. Good luck. Derrick Henry, I don't know if Grant Delpit knows that he's coming off of as a Derrick Henry fantasy football owner, a very good day. 18 carries, 169 yards, averaged essentially a first down every time he touched it with 2 touchdowns. That's what he's coming off of. And we all know Derrick Henry's a monster. Derrick Henry's an alien. Derrick Henry is whatever adjective you want to use to describe him. He is now going to use this, and the Browns are going to be in for a very long day. Very long day. Derrick Henry is going to make Grant Delpit hate life.
The only saving grace, again, is that he's got Myles Garrett in front of him. And it could be Myles Garrett has a crazy day, and maybe you don't see a lot of Derrick Henry because Myles Garrett is dominating the line of scrimmage.
But like the thing is, not only is it wild that you're saying that, but the Ravens are also coming into this game upset. Like,
yes,
coming off of a very demoralizing loss where all week they've heard about how much they're a failure, how much that they just can't do things right, how blah, 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 blah. So not only were they coming in already jazzed up for this game, already wanting to beat the skulls in of the Browns, now you've got this safety saying this about arguably the best or second best running back in the National Football League. You didn't have to add kerosene to the fire, my guy. They were already going to be burning hot, and now you've just made things worse for yourself. Man,
we got to help our texters. Hot take: Derrick Henry will be a top 5 running back ever once he retires. I don't think that's a hot take.
Hey guys, we got to get hotter than this.
I don't think that's a hot take.
I love Hot Take Friday. Keep them coming. 804-327-0888. We're right now on like low. We're on a simmer. I want to boil.
Yeah.
I want to put this on 10. I want to go straight hot.
Where's Raider Chris? He has hot takes.
I need Raider Chris to text in, call in 804-327-0888. He'll be coming in and saying that the Raiders are going to win the Super Bowl. That's the type of hot takes he's coming. Derrick Henry already is a top 5 running back. He doesn't have to retire. He already is one.
I think he's talking all time.
Oh,
yeah.
But
Still,
I don't think that's in that.
Yeah, once his career is over, consider his body of work and his longevity. I don't think that's far-fetched.
I don't think that's far-fetched at all. I think we're watching 2 of the greatest running backs play in the NFL right now, Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley. And I don't think that's a hot take. I need hotter takes in hour number 2, guys. Think of the hottest takes you can have going into the season. The Jerry Jones take was lukewarm at best. Derrick Henry, that's cold tap water, man. We need hotter takes. Text them in. Hour number 2 coming up, 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
It's off to Chapel Bill this Saturday. Hi, this is Bob Black. Join Chris Anderson, Matt Smith, and me as Richmond football gets its shot at Coach Bill Belichick and the North Carolina Tar Heels. Pre-game Saturday at 3, kickoff at 3:30 on the home of the Spiders, 106.1 ESPN.
See website for details. Bills happen is not a lender. It does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, everything is so expensive, and our bills are piling up.
You're telling me credit cards are maxed out, rent is due, and the car payment's right around the corner? We need some extra cash.
We should do what my friend from work did. She went to billshappen.com and got the money she needed the next day.
Our credit is not great. Are you sure that would work for us?
Bills Happen is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
Sounds like it's going to be a hassle.
My friend said it was super easy. She did it right from her phone during her lunch break.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. BillsHappen.com's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Guess what? I went to billshappen.com, and we're getting our money tomorrow.
Wow, that's fast. Problem solved.
If you need extra cash, go to billshappen.com. That's billshappen.com. Billshappen.com.
Constipation with belly pain that keeps coming back and back and back. If your symptoms keep coming back, talk to your doctor. It could be irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C. Linzess could help you get ahead of it. Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
From the ESPN studio, presented by Ortho Virginia. Find one of Ortho Virginia's orthopedic locations at orthovirginia.com. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 1061 ESPN. You're listening to the second hour of Fitz the Bill on 1061 ESPN.
Welcome in hour number 2 of Fitz the Bill on this Friday morning, getting you set for the weekend. A weekend chock full of some fantastic games, fantastic sports action in general. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, Allen alongside 1061 ESPN Richmond, streaming live on ESPN Richmond, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. You can like, comment, and subscribe. Be part of the show there. Be part of the show by calling or texting in. It's Hot Take Friday. We've gotten 2 great take. I don't even know if they're takes, man. I mean, Derrick Henry will be top. We got lukewarm takes. We got lukewarm takes to start. I want hotter. I want boiling. We're simmering right now. I want hotter takes. We had a good one from Chris. Chris called in. He said the Cowboys are the better team than the Commanders. That's a good hot take. I like that hot take. That's good for Hot Take Friday. 804-327-0888. Appreciate you starting off your Friday with us right here on Fitz the Bill. We've got so much coming in hour 2. Pat Jaggers will join at 9:30 from the Motor Racing Network to chat about the upcoming weekend in the NASCAR Cup Series. Tomorrow, we've got Terrence Crawford taking on Canelo Alvarez in a massive boxing showdown on Netflix. And, oh, by the way, we've got NFL action on Sunday. We've got some fantastic college football games on Saturday as well. So we've got so much to dive into here in hour number 2. Before we do any of that, we've got to go out to the phone lines. Dolphin Dave is on line 1. Good morning, Dolphin Dave. How we doing?
Hey, good morning. Listen, I've got one hot take, which I've already told you, so let's call it a lukewarm take, and then I'm going to tell you, give your audience people a big piece of advice if they're betting people. All right? First one, the hot take is Mike McDaniel will be the first football coach in the pros fired this year, and I think it's going to happen within 5 weeks. There's my hot take for that part.
I like that one.
Second part is, and the other part is, if anybody is a betting person and they know who I root for, bet against those teams. That would be the Mets and the Dolphins. Okay, so if you guys want to make a whole buckload of money, bet against the Mets, bet against the Dolphins, and you guys will go ahead and clean up to be able to pay your mortgages by the end of the year.
These are great tips. These are great tips, Dolphin Dave. Unfortunately for you, it comes at the expense of you, but those are some fantastic tips.
Hey, my mother taught me to share.
Dolphin Dave, thank you so much for calling and have a great rest of your Friday. Hopefully for you and your mental well-being, we see the Mets win a couple of games maybe and stop this slide. Maybe we see the Dolphins turn things around. Maybe. Have a great weekend, man.
Take care, man.
There goes Dolphin Dave. I always feel for him. He's been saying it. I disagreed with him, but it looks like Dolphin Dave may have been correct. Looks like Dolphin Dave may have been right on the whole Mike McDaniel Dolphins thing. He's not been a fan of Mike McDaniel. He's been adamant about it for quite some time, and then he may have been right. And I don't think he's wrong in that hot take. If they lose a couple of more games, Mike McDaniel's days are certainly numbered. I like him putting a 5-week deadline on it. All right, let's go out to the phone lines. Bruce is on line 2. Good morning, Bruce. How are we doing?
Good morning, Fitz. Good morning, Alan. I'm still laughing, but that's too funny. Hey, look, man. A hot take. I'm gonna piggyback on your last caller, my man. You may see Tyreek Hill coming to Steelerland. Don't sleep on that, guys. You may see Tyreek Hill coming to Pittsburgh Steelerland.
That would be such a fun wide receiver room with him and DK Metcalf, two guys that are known to wear their emotions on their sleeves. That would be hilarious. That would be awesome, and I think it kind of fits.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Hey, look, I want to leave you guys with just a good comment, if you will. It is so dope to come back on that 9 o'clock hour with Stevie Wonder. I mean, I know y'all sat in the lab and figured that up, but that's just a dope lead-in to your 9 o'clock hour, man. So I just want to drop that on y'all, man.
Thanks, Bruce. Thank you, Bruce. That means a lot. We picked that one with intention.
Yes, sir. That's a dope comeback, man.
Thank you, Bruce.
For those of us who know good music, that's a dope comeback.
It's a great song. Have a wonderful Friday. Have a great weekend. We'll chat next week.
Thanks, guys. There
goes Bruce. Hey, compliment my music taste anytime. And at any point, compliment the music taste. That's the way to the heart. And yeah. All right, let's go out to the phone lines. Again, line 3, we're keeping busy here to start off hour number 2. We've got Tony from Richmond. Tony, good morning. How we doing?
Hey, how are you all?
Great. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Quick hot take. Chiefs come in last place in that division. Bo Nix will be third place in the MVP rankings.
I love the Chiefs portion of this hot take. I also love the Bo Nix portion of this hot take. Not that he'll win the MVP, not that he's coming in second. No, Bo Nix is getting the bronze.
Only because it's a hot take segment. I'm screening calls from now on.
I love that one. I love it. Why do you think the Chiefs? Why do you think the Chiefs?
They are all reliable on their defense. If their defense crumbles, then they will struggle clearly like last week. I think with the injuries on the offense, the offense barely scraped by. People forget Patty Mahomes last year was really not all that great. He threw a ton of picks. I think he had 65% completion percentage. They just ride or die by that defense. If there's some flaws in there, then that division's for the taking. The Bo Nix portion, maybe he's not MVP this year, but I do think of that quarterback class as much as I'm a Commanders fan. As much of Jaden fan as I am, I think Bo Nix will be the long-term QB to watch out for with that Sean Payton tandem.
Yeah, as long as he's with Sean Payton and he can kind of just steady the ship at times. He showed the flashes of being a very good quarterback last year. I don't know why I'm a Bo Nix disbeliever or a Bo Nix hater. It may have been because of his Auburn days, and I was a big Bo Nix guy when he first took over the starting job, and then he burned me one too many times, so I refused to go back to the Bo Nix well. But watching from afar, I'm like, he looks good. He looks good, but I can't hitch my wagon to him because he's burned me too many times.
Yeah. Well, you know who else had a little bit of a struggle his first couple of years of their NFL career? Josh Allen.
Yeah,
and look at him now.
That is true. Tony, thank you so much for calling in. Have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the football. Enjoy the sports.
Y'all do the same. Thank you very much.
Thank you. There goes Tony from Richmond. Chiefs last place in the AFC West. Bo Nix third place in MVP voting. I love that.
Those are good hot takes.
I do like the Mahomes take that he kind of struggled last year. He did. And every year since he's lost Tyreek Hill, his average depth of target, his ADOT, how far he's pushing down the field when he's passing has just dramatically lowered and lowered. They went from a big play offense. They've now become a dink and dunk offense. It worked for him last season. It worked for him the season before that. It worked for him the season before that. They made it to the Super Bowl the last 3 years. But his one issue has always been his high interception rate. He had a 1.9% interception rate last season, 2.3% in 2023. I mean, he's only had 2 seasons in his entire career where he's had less than 10 interceptions in an entire season. The last 1, 2, 3, 4 years have all been 10 plus, 11 plus interceptions. So that's definitely an issue. And if they don't have the offense to kind of negate that, and if the defense starts to slide a little bit, you could blink and in a hurry, you could be like, oh snap. The Chiefs are really struggling. We got another hot take.
It's boring. That's what
they do.
You call it struggling. I call it boring.
They play a very boring style of offense and defense, and they do have a great defense though.
It's since we're going to do the boxing thing, it's essentially just the guy doing a jab. That's all it is, just a jab.
And then eventually
it's not even Lennox Lewis dropping the right hand. It's just a jab the entire time.
And they're playing great defense. They're not letting you get a really good lick on them, and they're just jab, body, jab. Another hot take. Flacco throws for over 300 yards. Browns put up 24 plus on Ravens. My favorite part about this hot take, the finish probably still in a loss.
That's the most accurate hot take we've had.
I love that hot take. Flacco's going to torch the Ravens,
and we'll still lose.
And the Ravens are still going to win.
All right. I know this is KC Rick. Our wide receivers have been hurt. That's why, but we'll still win the Super Bowl.
All right, KC Rick.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. The wide receivers are hurt.
That wide receiver hurt thing is only going to go so far, man. But
here's the thing. Here are the wide receivers hurt. Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice is suspended, not hurt.
There was a stretch last year. The wide receivers were not hurt. You didn't have a passing touchdown. You still went 3-0 because of your defense.
Yeah, like you hang the hat on the defense. You get serviceable running back play, which you didn't get in week 1. And your wide receivers now are worse than they were last year, and they're injured, and you have a suspended player. Maybe when Rashee Rice comes back, things will look good. But I mean, Xavier Worthy he was on pace to have like 15 targets or something crazy when he went out. Mm-hmm. I mean, they are a one-man band. Like with Travis Kelce aging, getting a little long in the tooth, they have become a team that's just like, all right, we're going to scheme one wide receiver open, the one guy we trust. And maybe that's Hollywood Brown now. It's not Juju. Travis Kelce can't really do a lot. They got to save him for the postseason. It's going to be an interesting season for Kansas City. I'm intrigued to see how they how it all shakes out because it's going to be an interesting season. All right, let's get a break in here. A little early, a little ahead of schedule here in hour number 2 on this Friday. But we'll get an early break in. On the other side, I want to talk a little boxing. I want to get Alan's thoughts on the upcoming Alvarez Crawford fight tomorrow night on Netflix and get his feelings on what's coming in arguably the biggest boxing match we've seen in the last 5 years, 10 years.
It's hard to say, man.
yeah,
it's hard to say.
We'll break that down on the other side of this break. You're listening to Fitz the Bill on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Traffic reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Lennox dealer. Online at HermanAllenPlumbing.com.
The post-crib assembly press conference, brought to you by Progressive.
Michael, you had some trouble putting the crib together today. What went wrong?
You know, those instructions can be tough, and, you saw the outcome.
Were you upset when your wife pulled you and called in the backup?
No, I mean, the baby needs a crib to sleep in, so whatever it takes.
You got a changing table to put together next. It's got a lot of drawers. What's your comment?
You know what? We're done here.
Like it or not, sometimes you need a backup. That's why there's Progressive to protect your home and auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
The John Deere Gator XUV lets you cut, hack, drive, scout, weld, stack, feed, pull, load, tow, spray, and haul, all in a single day. Because with the highest cargo box volume in its class, customizable features, and a towing capacity of up to 4,000 pounds, it gets the job done. You just have to get in the seat. Learn more at your John Deere dealer or visit johndeere.com/GatorXUV. Horse racing is back, and it's time to get ready for another Triple Crown season. Get the latest from the industry every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 with Off to the Races on 106.1 ESPN. Presented by The Racing Biz. Nick Hahn and Frank Vespi bring you their insight and knowledge, talking with the people making the headlines, including jockeys, trainers, and owners. Plus, get the expert picks each week, including a visit by Derby Bill Watson. It's Off to the Races each Saturday morning at 10 on 106.1 1061 ESPN, streaming live on the iHeartRadio app.
Looking for the perfect golf course? Check out RVA's best kept secret, Queenfield Golf Club, just a few minutes past Mechanicsville. Reserve your tee time today at queenfieldgolf.com.
The post-crib assembly press conference, brought to you by Progressive.
Michael, you had some trouble putting the crib together today. What went wrong?
You know, those instructions can be tough, and, well, you saw the outcome.
We just did one time. Were you upset when your wife pulled you and called in the backup?
No, I mean, the baby needs a crib to sleep in, so whatever it takes.
You got a changing table to put together next. It's got a lot of drawers. What's your comment?
You know what? We're done here.
Like it or not, sometimes you need a backup. That's why there's Progressive to protect your home and auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
The John Deere Gator XUV lets you cut, pack, drive, scout, weld, stack, feed, pull, load, tow, spray, and haul, all in a single day. Because with the highest cargo box volume in its class, customizable features, and a towing capacity of up to 4,000 pounds, it gets the job done. You just have to get in the seat. Learn more at your John Deere dealer or visit johndeere.com/GatorXUV.
Allianz Amphitheater at Riverfront and ESPN welcome. Simple Plan with Bowling Pursuit, 303 in Lolo, Tuesday, August 26th. Tickets are on sale now. Gavin Adcock with Braxton Keith and Laney Gardner, Thursday, August 28th. Tickets are on sale now. Allison Krause and Union Station featuring Jerry Douglas, Friday, August 29th. Tickets on sale now. Tickets are available at livenation.com. Part of the Virginia Credit Union Concert Series. Click on ESPNRichmond.com for more Live Nation concert information.
Hey, Richmond, looking for more Fitz the Bill content and behind-the-scenes looks into the show? Well, follow us on Instagram at Fitz the Bill ESPN RVA. You'll get all of the clips, exclusive hot takes, and so much more. Follow us at Fitz the Bill ESPN RVA on Instagram.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. I'm rocking my pants with the suckers and beer. Making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom, exploding. Overpowering over the competition. I'm towering, wrecking shot. When I drop these lyrics that I make you call the cops.
Welcome back in, Fitz the Bill on this Friday morning. Hot Take Friday, 804-327-0888. We're starting to heat up a little bit in hour number 2, Alan. We started a little slow, but we're starting to heat up in hour 2. I like it. You know what else is starting to heat up?
What?
The boxing world. that was a great
Yay.
Thing. All right. How excited are you for this Alvarez? Because I know you're a boxing guy. You're into boxing more than most. How excited are you for Alvarez Crawford?
I'm excited. I mean, I'm excited anytime we can get two guys willing to fight and willing to fight in what is still arguably their prime, right? Like, I mean, Canelo's on a slight decline, I think, ability-wise, but, like, he's still a capable fighter, right? This isn't two guys that are just looking to cash in, even though they will make a lot of money off this fight.
Can you walk me through something? How crazy is it, or different, or an advantage for Alvarez that Crawford is moving up weight here?
I mean, it's a significant advantage. So I have a theory, and it might not be shared by most, but when it comes to fighting, right, when you talk about professional fighters, skills pay the bills, right? So a smaller guy can beat a bigger guy if he's more skilled, in boxing at least. And the octagon is a little bit different because there's not as much space to move around. At some point, you got to be confrontational. You can maneuver and essentially keep a distance and box your way to a win on points if you're the smaller guy. Case in point, the last time that happened, pretty much a lot of Manny Pacquiao fights as he moved up in weight. And then Floyd Mayweather against Canelo Alvarez. He moved up just a little bit. It wasn't as drastic. I think it was 154, but it was a young Canelo, and he was bigger, he was stronger, but he wasn't nearly as skilled, and he wasn't nearly as experienced. And Mayweather made easy work of him, all things considered, from a boxing perspective, right? In this case, Crawford is moving up, I think, a significant amount of weight. He didn't have a fight in between either to kind of get used to the weight, which is kind of concerning for me. A lot of times when boxers add a significant amount of weight, they tire easily, especially because their style is built on them being, in his case, almost 20 pounds smaller. So he looks like he's okay frame-wise. Like he doesn't look like his weight gain was like unhealthy per se. Like he doesn't look fat or soft.
It wasn't
around
on
the
McDonald's
midsection.
to like just add it. He
it
added
wasn't
muscle.
Yeah. So Floyd always made sure he stayed at a comfortable weight for him. I know Andre Ward is another great fighter who moved up a couple weight classes to fight some people. Roy Jones did the same thing when he moved up to fight at heavyweight. He was heavy enough for heavyweight, but wasn't like, he didn't overdo it. He kept his quickness, which aided his style, and he boxed his way to a win over Ruiz at that time. I'm hoping Crawford does the same thing. Like, don't bulk up just to go toe-to-toe with Canelo, because honestly, Canelo hasn't been a toe-to-toe guy in probably 6-7 years. It's been a while since I've seen him go toe-to-toe with the intent that he used to have. He talks tough. Since he's learned English, he's got some good zingers, man. I love English speaking Canelo. He is a funny guy. But I haven't seen him put the pop behind his punches in a while. But you're going up against the smaller Crawford, it could affect him a little differently than the other guys.
So Alvarez right now is the slight betting favorite. Last time I checked was minus 165. Crawford, the slight dog at plus 130. Do you think tomorrow's match favors Alvarez or Crawford in terms of, you said Alvarez doesn't really have the pop. Does that favor Crawford, who's stepping up in weight now?
He hasn't shown the pop that his record is 63-2-2 with 39 KOs. There was a time where, Canelo was putting hammers on people. I haven't seen that in quite some time. I think in Crawford's case, he's such a skilled fighter. I don't think a lot of people understand how skilled he is. He's listed as a southpaw, but he fights orthodox, and he'll be mid-match and he'll switch up. Like he'll come out and around, he'll be fighting left-handed, he'll switch to orthodox. Those little nuances throw a opposing fighter off, right? Because his front foot's different, his lead punch is different. Like, it can mess with your head a little bit. At this point, Canelo's seen everything, but I don't think he's seen somebody that can switch literally like mid-combination and still be just as effective with both hands. Like, he's insanely talented. He's really, really gritty too. So you punch Crawford, you want to back him into a corner.
Good luck.
I've never seen him back down from anybody. Yeah. And his punches are precise. He knows what he's doing. He sets traps. He's a great counter puncher. He can be a boxer puncher if he needs to. So stylistically, I would say Crawford's the more versatile fighter. And that's not knocking Canelo, because Canelo's an amazing fighter. But this is like the apex of versatility in the boxing ring right now.
Who do you like to win?
I'm gonna go with Crawford because I don't want to doubt him, man.
You can't go against the American.
I watched him absolutely destroy. I watched him destroy my boy Earl Spence. So, but I will say this too: in boxing, we do culturally have our battles, right? Like a lot of Mexican fighters and Mexican fans don't like Puerto Rican fighters and Puerto Rican fans. A lot of African American fans don't like Mexican fighters, things like that. Like
this has cultural significance.
No, seriously, it does. It really does. And Floyd used to make so much money off of that Cinco de Mayo in September.
Floyd made a lot of money, period.
And he would always setting himself up to be the villain, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
I don't think it's setting up like that per se, but I don't view Canelo like I viewed Juan Manuel Marquez.
Yeah.
And in our case in Virginia, Julio Cesar Chavez, because of what he did to Pernell Whitaker, our boy Sweet Pea from Norfolk. I don't view him in the same I don't view him from the same lens. So I honestly wouldn't have an issue if he did win, but I'm going to side with Crawford just because, like I said, he's so skilled. I think he can find a way to win.
So a similar football game to this Crawford Alvarez fight. It's the USF Miami game. You like that segue?
No, I don't. I wouldn't go that far. No.
Come on. USF playing above their weight.
No,
USF
this would be
playing above their weight.
USF would be one of us, and Miami would be Canelo or Crawford. Like that's
USF is Crawford. Man, this was a good segue. I planned this segue.
No, that's disrespectful to Crawford, man.
What do you mean? USF's got 2 ranked wins. They're looking to become the second team all time to start their season off with 3 ranked wins.
They're upstarts, but
they're like they just got a lot of venture capital money inserted into them, and they're a startup trying to get going.
He's a big Husky fan, Crawford, because he's from Nebraska. He's a big Husky fan.
Huskers,
yeah. I said Huskies. Huskers.
I was like,
yeah.
You know what I mean. We're going to Washington. Okay, he's from really a Cornhuskers fan.
Yeah.
Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite him in this game. I mean, they're known for failing in big spots recently.
He's been the only blossom.
Man, wow, Nebraska Cornhuskers. So this USF Miami game, though, I am really worried that South Florida's like kind of darling status is going to be just thrown away after Miami just whoops them. Like I don't see I like South Florida. I think they are a fun story through the first couple of weeks, but and I'm not trying to poo-poo on USF too much because I love a good group of 6 team, group of 5 team.
As you should.
But their Boise State win, sure, it was a ranked win, but Boise's not a top 25 team. So the preseason thing kind of helps them a little bit. It's like when a team took down UNC that year, they were preseason number 1 and they didn't even finish ranked. It's like, yeah, you beat the number 1, but so that's to me their Boise win. And then last week, they very much, they kept themselves in a position to win, took advantage of a massive Florida mistake where he spit at a USF player, put them into field goal range. USF kicks the field goal. They win a fantastic game. But this is their first real test. Like this Miami team, I think is legit. And this is their first real test. And USF could be in for a rude awakening.
If you can't stop Malachi Tony, that's going to be the litmus test there.
He's so good.
Like he's good on a level where honestly, whatever he wants to do against the USF, he should be able to do it. And Beck, to his credit, has been finding him, and their chemistry is really good.
They're very good. My favorite part of this game is the fact that it's on the CW.
No.
Because the CW gets last dibs on these games, so they're like, oh, Miami versus USF, that's going to be a blowout. You can put that one on the CW. Now they're like, wait, we get a top 20 matchup?
Yeah.
What? So that's hilarious.
I would keep an eye on the coaching though. If USF can make it so Mario Cristobal has to make decisions.
Yes. Mario Cristobal, worst coach in America when it comes to decisions, and also walking by tripods. I'm still upset he kicked over my tripod. I hope they fail this season because he kicked over my tripod.
Did he say nerd when he did it? Or
no,
something?
He didn't even say anything.
He missed an opportunity.
He didn't say anything. I was almost worse.
Should have kicked it over like nerd.
Yeah, it was annoying. All right, we're going to get a break in here. On the other side, we'll be joined by Pat Jaggers from the Motor Racing Network to talk a little NASCAR on this Friday morning as they get set for the next round or the next race, in the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. Stay with us right here on 106.1 ESPN.
See website for details. Bills Happen is not a lender. It does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, everything is so expensive, and our bills are piling up.
You're telling me credit cards are maxed out, rent is due, and the car payment's right around the corner? We need some extra cash.
We should do what my friend from work did. She went to billshappen.com and got the money she needed the next day.
Our credit is not great. Are you sure that would work for us?
Bills Happen is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
Sounds like it's going to be a hassle.
My friend said it was super easy. She did it right from her phone during her lunch break.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. BillsHappen.com's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
To BillsHappen.com, and we're getting our money tomorrow.
Wow, that's fast. Problem solved.
If you need extra cash, go to BillsHappen.com. That's BillsHappen.com. BillsHappen.com.
More fiber and laxatives, eh? Who are you? I'm future you. Future me? Constipation with belly pain still coming back? Our doctor figured it out. It's irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, and Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
At the Original Mattress Factory, you'll often hear us say we can't fit our quality in a box. Our customers feel the same way. Here's what an actual OMF customer had to say.
I recently purchased a bed-in-a-box mattress and returned it a month later. I replaced it with a bed from the Original Mattress Factory, and I am beyond thrilled. Don't bother with any of the online mattress brands. Go to OMF and you'll be in great hands. My only regret is not going there sooner.
Come see our quality firsthand
at the original Mattress Factory.
Are you suffering from a sports injury, chronic pain, or something that just plain hurts? Ortho Virginia can help get you on the road to recovery. As the state's largest provider of orthopedic care, Ortho Virginia's team of specialists offers surgical and non-surgical treatment options. With 12 offices conveniently located in the Richmond area, visit orthovirginia.com or call 804-915-1910 to discover why at Ortho Virginia, stronger starts here. Hey, this is Jack Fitzpatrick. If you've ever been in a car accident, there's one place to call, Schilling and Esposito. I know them personally. I know their work ethic. They focus on their clients and their big dog obsession with getting the most compensation for their client. Heck, they even give you their cell phone numbers. Call them today at 804-320-0950 and put their entire team to work for you. 804-320-0950. Schilling and Esposito.
1061 ESPN. Catch Border to Border with Matt Josephs. Statewide sports debates, unfiltered takes, and no-nonsense analysis. Tune in daily and join the conversation. And now, Pat Jaggers.
That's what it's going to sound like on Saturday night at Bristol. Over there at Bristol Motor Speedway. Sure, we played a baseball game there, like a month ago? Now we're racing some NASCAR Cup Series playoff races, Pat. I am pumped for Bristol.
It's going to be a fun weekend. It's already underway. We had the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series in action last night with the ARCA Series as well, and we've got a full slate of weekend action coming up, and this place always delivers some type of drama, whether it be drama between two drivers, drama in the playoffs, drama with the tire. This place always seems to deliver. But what used to be the hottest ticket in sports, the Bristol night race, that NASCAR's making its return there once again. And we'll see what the crowd looks like, Saturday afternoon. So it's going to be a fun weekend. I'm excited for it, and I hope you guys are too.
I love how when it's a Saturday night race, Pat, you're so conditioned to say Sunday. Like the same thing happened with the Richmond race. It was you kept saying Sunday, you kept saying Sunday. Now with the Bristol one, you caught yourself there. You got it to say Saturday, but we're back Saturday night racing at Bristol. Where does Bristol night race rank for you in terms of night races and short tracks?
Oh, it's number one. I mean, just in terms of the nostalgia, the history, the lore, and you ask why I say that, but in the 90s, man, it didn't get any better than Bristol. And even the early 2000s, the racing was fantastic. And there was always some sort of lead up. I mean, I go back to 96 and 95. I think about Terry Labonte and Dale Earnhardt Sr. And back-to-back years coming down to the wire in the closing laps, Terry Labonte and Dale Earnhardt Sr. find each other, and Terry Labonte wrecks in the close, literally on the last lap in both of those events, in which one he won, the other, Dale Earnhardt coined a famous phrase where he said he was just trying to rattle his cage, which I don't really know how you can wreck somebody and just say that was rattling their cage and say that was your intention, but it's neither here or there. Bristol, just the history of that place and what it used to be in regards to just every year it felt like that if there was a short track that was going to come down the wire and really you had to have kind of a perfect day to pull it off. That was the race. And so for me, in terms of lore and history, and really just everything that comes with what that place is it's got to be Bristol. And when you go, it's one of the coolest places to visit in sports too. They call it the last great Coliseum for a reason. It's built very, very tall. It's built up. It's not built out. So all the sound goes up, and it's really interesting. And TV doesn't do it justice, Jack. I could talk about Bristol for days, and I'm going to end on this. You don't realize how fast they go there and how hard they really are ripping around that place until you experience it in person. It's just something that you can't feel on the television. But when it comes to actual racing right now and short track racing, I think when I think about product, I think Martinsville is definitely got it beat. The racing there just hasn't been the same for a while. And we just, as of right now, when we think of short track racing, I think Martinsville probably is our best product.
Pat Jaggers from the Motor Racing Network joining us on this Friday morning. Pat, Bristol, last race in the round of 16. We've seen Chase Briscoe win at Darlington. Denny Hamlin, the hometown guy, win at Worldwide Technology Raceway in St. Louis. Now going to Bristol. You've got some guys who traditionally race well here. Kyle Larson won here last year. And then you've got a couple of guys right around the cut line that would love to get a win so they can secure their way into the next round. Guys like Alex Bowman, he's below the cut line. Josh Berry's below the cut line. Austin Cindric, Ross Chastain just above the cut line. How much strategy goes into this race in terms of those guys trying to race their way into a win? Do they throw out trying to have a good finish and go straight for the win, or do you think there's a little bit of kind of threading the needle between that?
I think it depends who you are and what your situation is. I think Josh Berry's kind of cooked. But when I think about a guy like Alex Bowman who has an opportunity to make it via points, it's going to be very tough. I think that you have to kind of just know where everybody's at the same time. I think of a guy like Shane Van Gisbergen who has an opportunity to really make some noise and advance and shock some people. I'd love to see Shane make the next round because I think he can make some noise once we get to the places like the Roval and the super speedways where he performs better at. But back to your original question, yes, there's going to be a ton of strategy. And I think that, at the end of the day, this is one of those races that it reminds me so much of Darlington where, yes, you're going to have different strategies. Yes, you're going to try to flip the stages. You're going to try to do wild things. Like I expect Joey Logano and Paul Wolfe to really have a hell of a weekend because I think there's not many in the sport that can strategize a race better than Paul Wolfe. I think you're going to see a lot of different strategies, Jack, but to answer your question, it reminds me so much of Darlington where you can have the perfect strategy, but this is a long race. And at this race, when you think about how long it is, just the odds of you not getting in trouble and keeping the car clean and keeping it out of the wall and not getting with somebody else because there is so much lap traffic here and there's every single lap there's different battles going on this track for different positions because the place is so small. I just think that the odds are not in your favor for things to just be executing perfectly. So how can you respond to a mistake if it happens? We see it happen all the time in the playoffs. That's the first challenge. And B, how do you come up with a game plan that your competitors aren't thinking of? I mean, that's what makes the crew chiefs the best in the sport. The ones that can really force the rest of the field to really flip their strategies. Make them make a decision they don't want to do in terms of coming down pit road early and getting fuel and getting tires. One of those cutoff drivers is Joey Logano, and Paul Wolfe, his crew chief, always seems to have a great strategy. And Joey's won here at Bristol before, so I wouldn't be shocked to see them come out and have some type of great performance. But back to the two names you were talking about earlier, Jack, I think the guys everybody's looking at to have a great weekend is Denny and Kyle. But it's going to be interesting to say the least.
Pat Jaggers from the Motor Racing Network joining us on this Friday morning. Pat, are you surprised that Bubba Wallace finds himself fourth right now in the overall points?
No, I'm not. I mean, they've been consistent. I mean, that's a guy that I think that, going into the year, if you would have told me right now that Bubba Wallace being fourth in the playoffs and going into a cutoff race, I would have told you you're out of your damn mind. But just looking at how things have played over the last few weeks, they've been consistent. And when you consistently stay out of trouble, you have great days and you execute, it's not shocking. And I think, guys, somebody else that kind of reminds me of just consistency is just Ryan Blaney throughout the season. I always felt like Ryan, even though that he didn't win a lot of races, I always felt like they had a really good shot to win because they were just consistent. The one driver that I think is regressing, and I'm kind of having a hard time seeing it because I think that they started out the year better than anybody else, is Christopher Bell. That's the one driver I'm kind of scratching my head out right now that, and I know there's frustration. I don't know if you heard the radio audio last week.
That was insane.
Where he is screaming at crew chief Adam Stevens. about the fact that, they feel like they're getting beat with strategy each and every week. And he's tired of feeling like that they're getting beat each and every week in strategy when they feel like they have the best car. And he has got, really what he needs to win. So it's been a really interesting year. And I think about Bubba Wallace, and to start the season, I would have been shocked if you told me he was fourth in points going into the cutoff race. But what I'm more shocked by is guys like Christopher Bell who just haven't been able to figure this thing out, man. That kind of has me scratching my head a little bit. I do think Christopher Bell makes it to the next round, Jack, but it's been really interesting. It reminds me of William Byron last year. William started out the year, won 3 races early on. Everybody had him picked as a championship favorite. And then down the stretch, it was kind of like crickets. He wasn't really nowhere to be found in terms of a contender each week. And we didn't really, throw Williams' name out there to be a guy to win races late in the season. And it's kind of reminded me of that. But no, to answer your question, I am not shocked that Bubba Wallace is third in the points.
I love the answer. I love the breakdown because you brought up Christopher Bell. That was going to be my next question because of that radio tirade he went on where he's just yelling like, we have the best car in every week. Like we're better than this. I mean, there's a lot of frustration bubbling up in that number 20 Toyota for Christopher Bell. Overall with this race, you mentioned Denny, you mentioned Kyle, 2 guys that you expect to have good races. Who is your pick? Who are your couple of picks to win on Saturday night at Bristol?
I'm going to kind of go in a different direction here. I really think that we haven't really had a lot of guys be playoff, I'm trying to be more or less be drivers that have pulled off upsets in the playoff this year. We hadn't seen it. We've seen it in years past. I think the potential is there this weekend for that. I like Chris Buescher. This is a track that over the years it's one of his favorites. He performs well here. Chris Buescher is a guy that if you're looking for a long shot or a guy that's going to upset the playoff drivers, I like it a lot. I also really like where Denny Hamlin is right now. I hate to say it, but this team is really performing at a level I think everybody else isn't. And, so I think you have to throw Denny in the loop here. The Kyle Larson stuff, man, I just can't figure it out. Kyle has had an interesting year since the Indianapolis 500. He's been a heck of a slump, and they just really haven't been the team they were before. And now I don't really trust them to go out there and to be a favorite. And until I kind of see that team and Cliff Daniels kind of get back to form, I don't really know how anybody can pick them to be the favorite. But right now, if I was just going to give you 2, I'd give you a long shot. I'd give you Chris Buescher, and I'd give you Denny Hamlin. And I'm sure Denny Hamlin's probably the favorite in the betting man. But it is what it is. When you think about the results and what he's able to do there, he's just the best.
I love it, Pat. I love how you picked the hometown guy in Denny Hamlin. Always appreciate your time. Where can people find the race this weekend?
Yeah, it is on our friends at the Performance Racing Network. They have you covered for all the action this weekend. And once again, as always, I always tell you guys, if you can, absolutely watch it. Obviously, we want you guys to watch it on television, but at the same time, take the radio broadcast, sync them together, and you will never go back. It's an unbelievable experience, and you're on the edge of your seat every single lap while you watch. But Jack, thank you for your time, and I hope the ESPN Richmond listeners have a great weekend.
Hey, you as well, Pat. Have a great one. Enjoy your Saturday night race at Bristol. There goes Pat Jaggers from the Motor Racing Network. Always appreciate his time. Just got a little update from Derby Bill. Denny Hamlin will be will be racing the King's Hawaiian Soft Pretzel Bite scheme. It's low-key a fire scheme. That is a 10 out of 10 scheme. It's orange and blue. I love it. It's nice. Denny Hamlin right now is the betting favorite to win the race on Saturday night at Bristol. That race, I think green flag's around 7:30. I knew it was in that time range. So Bristol Motor Speedway, as they get into their last race of the round of 16, and then they move down to the round of 12. Denny Hamlin and Chase Briscoe have already punched their tickets to the round of 12 with wins. They're trying to find someone else to do it. Kyle Larson is another name to monitor. All right, let's get a break in here. Step aside. We'll wrap up this Friday edition, get you set for the weekend, talk about some other marquee college football games around the world of sport as we wrap up this Friday. Stay with us, ESPN Richmond.
The post-crib assembly press conference brought to you by Progressive.
Michael, you had some trouble putting the crib together today. What went wrong?
You know, those instructions can be tough, and, you saw the outcome.
Were you upset when your wife pulled you and called in the backup?
No, I mean, the baby needs a crib to sleep in, so whatever it takes.
You got a changing table to put together next. It's got a lot of drawers. What's your
You know what? We're done here.
Like it or not, sometimes you need a backup. That's why there's Progressive to protect your home and auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
The John Deere Gator XUV lets you cut, pack, drive, scout, weld, stack, feed, pull, load, tow, spray, and haul, all in a single day. Because with the highest cargo box volume in its class, customizable features, and a towing capacity of up to 4,000 pounds, it gets the job done. You just have to get in the seat. Learn more at your John Deere dealer or visit johndeere.com/GatorXUV.
Allianz Amphitheater at Riverfront and ESPN welcome. Simple Plan with Bowling Pursuit, 303 in Lolo, Tuesday, August 26th. Tickets are on sale now. Gavin Adcock with Braxton Keith and Laney Gardner, Thursday, August 28th. Tickets are on sale now. Allison Krause in Union Station featuring Jerry Douglas, Friday, August 29th. Tickets on sale now. Tickets are available at livenation.com. Part of the Virginia Credit Union Concert Series. Click on espnrichmond.com for more Live Nation concert information.
The Bentelli Fall Sales Event is on now through October 31st. Great selection of LSVs and special finance rates are available. Cruise your neighborhood in style with a street-legal low-speed vehicle from Richmond LSV. Bluetooth sound system, seatbelts, and lithium batteries are all standard equipment. Schedule a test drive today during the Bentelli Fall Sales Event at richmondlsv.com or text 804-363-4351. Fun, fully charged.
This is Freddie and Harry. I know other teams I didn't post their will in Alabama, they seem powerless, like they're afraid to stand up and be counted, that they want to be too pretty and not gully and not gutty enough. Nick Saban's teams were pretty, but when they need to get gully, they did. Any team worth their weight in salt, when it's time to get down and dirty, you're not afraid to do it. 13, 14 games of killing DeBoer. The dirtier the game gets, the more they want no part of it. And that's something the coach better fix.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Before, when stuff like this happened with the Patriots or the Astros, it's cheaters to champions. And it feels like with Michigan and Jim Harbaugh, we're just kind of like, okay, yeah, they cheated, but they still won. I don't know why with this specific instance, we're not as outraged as we have been in the past when it comes to other cheating to championship scandals.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday morning starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
It's off to Chapel Bill this Saturday. Hi, this is Bob Black. Join Chris Anderson, Matt Smith, and me as Richmond football gets its shot at Coach Bill Belichick and the North Carolina Tar Heels. Pre-game Saturday at 3, kickoff at 3:30 on the home of the Spiders, 106.1 ESPN.
Man, how great would it be if Richmond goes down to Chapel Hill and takes down Bill Belichick and the Tar Heels? That'd be a pretty fun game.
That would be great.
I hope it happens.
We need more Richmond on the map, man. We're a city of chaos when it comes to sports. Let's get it done.
We really are. No real pro sports team.
If you factor in the Spiders and VCU basketball and things like that, typically whenever anything happens with the city in sports, it's chaos because nobody expected it. So get it done. That'd be great.
That's true. And then you don't really have any pull to any real team, like no pro team you can really pull towards. We've got fans everywhere. So
also
make a statement.
On a side note, how cool is it that Coach Huseman actually coached against Nick Saban and Belichick?
That's a pretty impressive.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah, he coached against Saban during his Chattanooga days.
Yeah,
so
they were talking about yesterday during the
that's a nice
during
resume.
the coaches show. But I was like,
nice list.
Yeah, just knock them all out, man. You got the best of the best.
We'll bring him Kalen DeBoer too, the next great Alabama coach.
Sure.
Dabo Sweeney maybe with Clemson, but first he's got to take on Georgia Tech in Atlanta at Georgia Tech. This is a massive chance for Georgia Tech, which was kind of the dark horse darling of the ACC in the preseason, to make a pretty big statement. And Brent Key, the head coach of Georgia Tech, has been dialed in on this game. There was a clip that was surfacing that was going around that It was him pre kind of Clemson prep, and he's kind of joking. He's having a good time. Then in the middle of Clemson prep, he does another media availability, and he's completely locked in. His eyes are large. He's focused entirely, and he is just making very quick to the point answers. And I think that shows how he knows and how this team knows this game is massive for Georgia Tech. Clemson comes in, not looking all that strong. Clemson got that win to start the season, but they backed it up with what? A poor performance against Troy where they were down 16-0 at one point. They ended up winning that game, scoring 20 some odd points unanswered. But that you can't have a slow start against Georgia Tech. And for Georgia Tech, they know at home this is a chance to kind of show why they were the darling of the ACC in the preseason.
Yeah, I was gonna add something to it, but it's funny because Clemson and their fans keep acting like they're the same Clemson from days of old, man. Like you've taken a step back as a program.
Yeah.
You don't have to necessarily admit it, but also understand that we don't believe you when you talk like you're still good.
And the thing is, the rest of the ACC is like not that good.
Yeah.
So they're consistently going to be at the top of the ACC. They're consistently going to be a college football playoff type of team, and they're consistently going to lose in the first or second round of the college football playoff. Like, they just aren't created to be a juggernaut in this modern day of college football. And it doesn't help that their preseason player of the year, Cade Klubnik, has just been slow out of the gates, 426 yards, 2 tutties, 2 interceptions, just slow out of the gates.
Yeah. Klubnik is, he's been struggling. The identity of the team was supposed to be they'll be more physical and all this and that. That hasn't quite shown either. So
yeah,
I don't know how long the Dabo thing's gonna last. I feel like Dabo might look for a way out.
Is he? Oh,
no, he's always wanted to coach at Clemson. At Bama,
and he's gonna have a chance at the end of this year when they buy out Kalen DeBoer. They're not buying him out. That's $70 million.
Listen, did you see the clip of the lady who said that they asked her what she would do with her?
If she won the lottery,
she said the first thing,
I'll buy out Kalen DeBoer. I respect that. The SEC, baby, it just means more.
He has no friends down there.
No. Speaking of no friends, Georgia at Tennessee. It just means more, baby. It's been a slow start this season, a quote-unquote slow start this season for Georgia. Granted, they're 2-0, and they just haven't beat up on the teams that people thought they'd beat up as much as they were going to beat them up. A 45-7 win against Marshall, 28-6 win, though, against Austin Peay. Leads them to their first true road game of the season at Tennessee, at Neyland Stadium. I think they're going to handle their business though, and take care of Tennessee. I just don't have high hopes in Josh. I think Tennessee's a very fun team. I just don't know if they have the hoof to take it to Georgia.
Oh, what?
The hoof.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean when I say that though.
If they've got the fortitude.
That the hoof.
No, they have to it starts with the coach. The coach has to get it out of his head that he can't beat Georgia. And he has to not overthink it.
Kirby Smart, 5 years to get it out of his head that he couldn't beat Nick Saban.
Yeah, and the way Kirby lost in that national championship is a ghost that a lot of people wouldn't have never gotten over with Tua and I don't know if that was cover 2 or what was going on there, but to lose like that is tough to overcome. But like Georgia always beats Tennessee, it seems like.
Yeah.
And Heupel's, I want to say Heupel's got a team of equal footing this year. And they've got home field. And they've got home field. Like this is a game that you have to win this.
And your quarterback's looking good. You Joey Aguilar, dare I say, is better than Nico. Like Joey Aguilar is a very good quarterback, and he's been playing like a very good quarterback. He's only missed 20 passes this season on 59 attempts, 5 touchdowns, over 530 yards passing. You've got the makings to do it. Go out there and do it at home. Another team that has to go out there and do it, but not at home, it's Florida, because if they don't do it, Billy Napier might not be on the plane back home.
Look, I told you there's no hope for Florida.
Like, there's no hope for Florida.
There's no hope for Florida.
I don't even
call it now. Call it now.
You lose this game. If you get blown out in this game, Billy Napier is being tarmacked.
Listen,
I'm going
to run it by you one more time. You can win this game. You could beat the number 3 team in the nation, and he's still fired because you've got Florida. You've got Texas. You've got Texas A&M. You got Mississippi State.
Who
you got
did this
Georgia.
to him?
You
Who
got
did this to
Kentucky,
him?
You got Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Florida State. There is no hope for you.
You were supposed to be 2-0 at this point in the season. How funny is it that, like, all right, you came into the season, you looked at it, and if you're a rational Florida fan, or if you're just an unbiased media member, you look at the start of their season, their first 3 games, and you go, all right, they'll be 2-1 after 3 games. If they pull off the win against LSU, which is a massive if, I don't think they're going to do it. But for the sake of this hypothetical, you go in and you pull off the top 3 upset, and you're sitting there at 2-1. You're still upset if you're a Florida fan at 2-1. It's so much different of a 2-1 if you beat LSU and your loss is to South Florida than if your wins were Long Island and South Florida and your one loss was LSU. And none of that bodes well for Billy Napier, because after that, who do you got? Miami. You just went through it. I mean, you could be staring at 1-4, 1-5 before your next winnable game against Mississippi State.
You're coaching for your season. Or you're coaching for your career,
Coaching
essentially.
No, he'll find a play. He'll find a nice cushy job back.
That's true. Yeah, he'll go back.
He was very successful with the Raging Cajuns.
All right, so you're coaching for your
P4 life.
P4 life. Your schedule consists of 9 of
who did this to him?
Your 12 games being against top 25 opponents.
Who did this to him?
I mean, some of this they did to themselves.
And then the back end of their schedule, if you somehow make it to your Georgia game, this is how your season finishes out. Georgia, Kentucky, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Florida State. Good luck.
And you're at Kentucky and at Ole Miss. And then you've got Tennessee before you have Florida State, which is obviously a trap game because it's sandwiched in between Ole Miss on the road and Florida State, your rival. So it's not.
And DJ Lagway hasn't been necessarily tearing the roof off the place.
And you got LSU before you have Miami.
Good luck, Billy. Good luck, Billy.
And that's following Texas.
Good luck, Billy. The game I am very excited for because it has a lot of Commonwealth implications. Old Dominion against Virginia Tech in Blacksburg.
Been hearing a lot about that.
This game, much like Florida and Billy Napier, if Brent Pry is not able to win at home against in Lane Stadium against ODU, he's done. He's done. This is a do or die game. If you are not able to take down in-state foe Old Dominion in this game, you are not coaching the rest of these games. That is my hunch. That is what I am feeling. And honestly, this feels like it is ripe for an upset. ODU is nothing to sneeze at. They played Indiana well. They're coming off of a game where they got a lot of momentum, destroying NC Central. ODU is poised to come in with a little swagger, a little confidence against a Virginia Tech team that feels like they are just beaten down after that second half against Vanderbilt. ODU has the makings. They've got a good offensive line. They've got a quarterback who still needs to improve a little bit in the passing game, but leads the FBS in rushing, which is a fantastic stat. He is a true dual threat quarterback. You got that. And I mean, you're going to put some stress on the Virginia Tech defense, which had no resistance for Vanderbilt in the second half. And that defense, sure, you lost Jason Henderson, but now it feels like they're almost playing for Jason Henderson. They've got a little extra motivation back there. Their linebacking crew, not at all what they expected it to be. I think Naudala is still out, one of their predicted starters to go into the season. I think he's still out. Henderson's gone. So you've got a completely different linebacking core than what you expected coming into the season. But that defense is going to give Virginia Tech some issues. This should be, you're thinking of this as it should be a get right game for Virginia Tech, but this has upset written all over it. And if you can't pull this out, Brent Pry, I think your days are numbered now. I think your days become single digits if you're not able to pull out this one.
Pull the Band-Aid off. Yeah. I mean,
go hire Michael Vick.
I said, no,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm so kidding.
I said this at the beginning of the season, and I said it respectfully when I said it. But if you have 21 to 22 returning starters, and you can't
couldn't do it last year,
you can't win more than 6 or 7 games, the writing was on the wall. Like, honestly,
he needed to start 2-0 this year.
He needed to have been fired last year if that was the case.
Well, what I'm saying is they kept him, and for him to have job security at this point in the season, he needed to start 2-0. If he was able to do that, then I think he had a little job security for the rest of the season. starting 0-2, if you lose to Old Dominion, you've lost the fan base. You've lost the support of Lane Stadium. You can't do that. And the only way you get it back if you're Virginia Tech is if you move on from Brent Pry.
Yeah, it's got to be done.
But so it's huge implications in the Commonwealth. Huge implications.
Let's see what our guy quarterback will do, man.
Drones. Let's see. Or Joseph, both of them. Both of them need to have good games.
But it's a big boomer bust combination between those two quarterbacks. You really don't know what you're going to get.
And for ODU, they hope they get a non-turnover heavy Colton Joseph, because when they don't
ever happen.
Yeah, I think it happened last weekend. But if they don't turn the ball over, they're very good. They're undefeated when they don't turn the ball over. All right, that'll do it for Fitz the right. That'll do it for Fitz the Bill on this Friday. We've got a loaded day coming up. We've got Clinton and Friends from 10 until noon. Rich Eisen Show from 12 until 3. And then we've got the Sports Huddle. Man, I keep messing this up. You'd think I'd know it by now. Border to Border with Matt Josephs, man. Out at Colonial Downs. Head on out there. Matt will be with Alan at Colonial Downs for a fantastic day. This is the last meet of the season for us out at ESPN Richmond out there at Colonial Downs. So this is your last chance to come on by, say hi. You can still go out to Colonial Downs for their last couple of meets of the season, but this is the last one we'll be out at. Super much looking forward to it. And then we'll be out at Midlothian as they host Powhatan tonight in some high school football in the 804, our Talk of Town game of the week. See you next week.
From the ESPN studio, presented by Ortho Virginia. Find one of Ortho Virginia's orthopedic locations at orthovirginia.com. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 1061 ESPN.